Hi everyone, it's Tammy at Frou-frou Studio. Welcome back to my channel where I am going to share my Junk Journal Madness February journal. The bad news is that when I thought I was filming part 2 of the video the other day, I apparently did not hit record, or something kicked my phone off, so none of that episode recorded, and that was the episode that finished up the makes for the journal. The good news is the journal is finished and ready for a flip through, so that's what I'm going to do in this video. The bad news is it is snowing to beat the band outside and it's cold. The good news is it's nice and warm in my studio today, so I am going to be up here making wonderful projects. So, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of tell you the story of what came to mind for this journal, and then hopefully as I flip through it, you'll see little bits and parts of the story that help bring it together into a journal. So let's get started. A lot of this, the layouts and covers and all that kind of thing are in the previous videos that I did on this, so I won't go into a lot of detail about that, but I will show you the different flips and tucks and tags and all that as we go through. So this all started with my story about Forrest, who was a little boy who his father and grandfather and great-grandfather, and as far back as his family's history went, growing up in Appalachia, were lumberjacks. They spent their days cutting down trees and delivering those to the local paper mills, sawmills, all that in the Appalachia region. And while Forrest was studying a unit in school about forests and trees or whatever, he decided that he wanted something different, and he wanted to go into forestry, and in particular conservation of the forest and the plants and the animals that you find in the woods. So he was an extremely talented little boy and extremely smart, and from a very young age he would journal his trips into the woods and keep them in a book. If he read an article that he liked in a book, he would take that page out and stick it in his journal. He would make notes, he would make sketches, he would gather samples of all the different things, in the woods. And so when he got older, he actually got a scholarship to to North Carolina State University, because it was close to where he lived, and they had a great forestry program. And so he ended up graduating from North Carolina State University and became a pretty famous forest conservation consultant, and was called to all kinds of forests all over the United States to give his opinion on conservation of the national forest, and also to study different species of plants and animals and trees that may only be in that particular forest. So that's kind of his background. So, he ended up spending most of his time in the Cherokee National Forest because it was close to his home, and so it was always the nearest and dearest to his heart. And it's there that he met who would be his future wife. Sorry, I should have put something up under that so it wouldn't flip. Where he would meet his future wife. Every weekend when he was not stomping around in the forest work related, he was stomping around in the forest, camping, fishing, and just exploring his own stomping grounds. And he always stopped at a little store that was owned by the Cherokee Nation and pick up whatever he was going to need for his little camping and fishing trips, whether it be bait or his own food supplies or whatever. And this little store also had a kind of deli type situation where you could order sandwiches. And he loved to go in there and get an egg salad sandwich and a bottle of cola to take with him to go fishing, especially. And there was a beautiful woman there that made the sandwiches and would wrap them in brown paper and tie them up with a string, and he would go in there and get a sandwich to take with him for his trip. Well, it's here said that Forrest fell in love with the sandwiches before he fell in love with the girl. But in actuality, he noticed her beauty from the very beginning, and it was probably the opposite, that he intentionally went in there to pick up a sandwich because the girl was there. Now, the girl, whose name was Rain, worked for her grandfather, who owned the store, and her grandfather was a Cherokee Indian, and he was a member of the tribe that lived on the Cherokee Reservation just outside the Cherokee National Forest. And so he finally, after several trips in to get egg salad sandwiches, went into the woods and picked a big bunch of wildflowers and put them in a mason jar, which may or may not at one time held moonshine, but we won't confirm that story. And ask her to go on a picnic with him in the woods down by the creek where he liked to fish. And she was a little bit reluctant at first, but she went, and of course she made egg salad sandwiches for them to take. So that picnic and that little trip led to many other picnics and little trips into the woods, and she would tell him stories of her heritage and how the Native Americans appreciated everything in the forest, and how everything had a meaning, and everything on earth was connected back to the great creator. For example, they believe that feathers are a connection between the people that they fall into the hands of, and the birds, and the great creator. And so they're very well relished, and they all have a different meaning, all the different feathers, as well as everything that is in the forest is used. There is no waste. They use the animal skins and the bones and the meat and the furs, and you know, they thank the creator for everything that they're given as far as the forest goes, because they believe that without the creator giving them those wonderful things, that they would not have the means to survive. They also believe that things should be handled with care and taken care of, and that we should not waste or overuse anything that is given to us as far as the earth is concerned. Couldn't we all take that lesson? So, needless to say, this fit right into, excuse me, I got a tickle. Interrupted my great story there. This fell right into Forrest's idea of wanting to be this conservation consultant, and so they hit it off immediately. And of course, we're married and continued to be happily married and enjoying the forest. This little puppy here is their companion. His name is Wilson. They named him after Woodrow Wilson, who declared the Cherokee Forest the national forest in 1920. And he goes with them in the woods on their camping trips and on their picnics and on their fishing trips, and enjoys being out in the nature just as much as the rest of them. This is just a Montgomery Ward duplicate. So that's my story of Forest and Rain, and kind of where I went with this journal. This book represents his book that he just takes notes in and uses this to catalog everything that he is encountering in the woods, and he just stuffs it in this book. Hence is why it is overstuffed in full. This is a hidden paper clip. I did this for you, Susan. I had to get a turtle in there somewhere. This is Forrest's grandfather, who often visits him, and they go on fishing trips. And this is his mother and his sister standing at the outskirts of the woods. These Polaroids, some of them, this is an authentic one. This one is Tim Holtz. So some of them are authentic and some of them are the Tim Holtz photos. This is some watercolor stamping that I did. I just stamped it and then watercolored it with Distress Oxides. I'd say watercolor, but it's not really watercolor. There's a belly band here. So I hope as I flip through here, you can see the connections between the story and the journal. This is an envelope made out of a book page. I tried to include a lot of animals and bugs. This is my writing board. I showed you guys that the other day. And these can come out if you want to put them someplace else in the journal. And we have our little top tuck there that we did the other day. It's on both sides. And then this is a 1943 payroll card is what this is, and it flips around to the other side. And then this is like a little specimen card with a vellum envelope. And then, like I said, that flips around the other side. I did not glue this as a pocket, but there is a little space where I didn't go all the way to the edge that you could put a tag down in here. It's just not gonna go all the way down in there, but you still could put something in there. And I may do that. I may put something small, maybe a ticket or something like that. The pages you see that are bent are done intentionally. This is one of the seed packets from Target. This is where I thought I was filming the other day. On this side, you just have a collage. And then on this side, you have the seed packet with a tag inside and a journal card. And I just took a divider and folded it up because I like the color. This is vintage. And I just folded it to make another little journaling spot. These are altered playing cards, and they have just a little pocket there on the front. This is a pocket. I did not make anything to put in there, but you could very easily hide some journaling down in there. So it's a nice big deep pocket. And then there's a pocket there with a library envelope and a tag. And this flips out, and you've got two little envelopes here with little tickets down in it, and then there's a pocket behind. It has Tim Holtz cards. And then here's our, I have a video on how I made this. The only thing I did is I added the hawk on there. And it flips out for more journaling space. And then we have our little frog tuck there. And then this flips out, and it's got 6 pockets in it with little numbered tags. And that's just made with a book page, a German dictionary page. And then on the back, we have that other tag that I said the other day I didn't know where I was going to put it. That's where it went. And then this is Rain. I don't remember if I told you that was her name, his wife. This is the little store that they owned. This is, he kept the brown paper sack that he got his sandwich in, and it's just wrapped with the twine. This is the vase of wildflowers that he took her. And on the inside of this, I won't unwrap it, but there is a journal card that you can journal on inside there. And then I've got this Native American print back here, and this is a Native American tapestry that shows all the animals. And it's just got tea-dyed paper on the back. So that's it, guys. I don't think I missed anything while I was gabbing my story, but like I said, I hope as I flip through that you could see the references and that I tried to pull in as the story progressed in my mind. This is an altered playing card. I know I said it was a paper clip, but I mean, you can see it's a playing card, obviously, but that's what it is. So if you have any questions about this journal or how I did anything, please reach out, and I'll be glad to answer those for you. This is one of those journals, and I'm sure you guys have journals like that too, that once your mind starts flowing, it just comes together so easily, and that's how I felt about this one, because I had such a clear story in my mind of what I wanted it to look like. Is it always this easy? Absolutely not. But this one in particular was quite enjoyable. Oh, and this is a map of the Cherokee National Forest. I don't think I said that. And these are actual hydrangeas, petals from my hydrangeas from over the summer. So I do have a couple of natural elements in here, and of course that's a real feather. And that is a hawk feather, by the way. Not as many, I probably could have had more natural elements, you know, if it hadn't been in the middle of the winter. But just those couple, I think, make a big difference. So, Forest is finished, and I will be offering it in my Etsy shop, and I probably won't list it. I usually don't list things in my shop until Sunday. So I wouldn't expect to see it there until then. But it should be listed by then. And again, it's got a 2.5-inch spine. It is 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches, and it, you can tell, is stuffed. It has 4 signatures, and it is stuffed. So yeah, I'm sad this one's done, but I'm looking forward to moving on to the March project and seeing what that's going to be, and getting my stuff together for that one. So thanks for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed looking at my journal. And Sharon and Trish, thank you so much for hosting this month. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to the next one. So until then, which will be my I Saw It on Pinterest video, I hope everybody has a good evening, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.